Hi, I'm Kyle Wooden, certified ISA specialist in nutrition and also personal training. Today, I just want to take some time to talk about some basic topics that everybody goes crazy about: diet. But specifically, I'm not going to recommend how to do your diet or what to eat in your diet. I'm going to give you the math because every single professional should know how to do some basic equations, but you can honestly Google, but I want to break it down today so you can be the master of your own diet. Okay, first we're going to talk about working out your BMR, your basal metabolic rate. The basal metabolic rate is basically the energy your body requires whether you're doing anything or not. It's just your sit around kind of calorie intake. For your basal metabolic rate, there's two formulas you can easily Google for a guy or girl. And I say Google for a reason. The information already exists. You might as well get your template for this formula before you begin. From here, you plug in your weight, which is divided by 2.2 to kilograms, and your height, which is times 2.54 into centimeters, into the formula. Now that I have my information, I will use the BMR calculation for male and substitute my numbers for my kilograms of body weight, my centimeters in height, and my age, which is 25. The formula looks as such: 66 plus 13.7 times 77.3, my weight plus 5 times 16 or 167.6, my height minus 6.8 times 25, which is my age. From these calculations, I'll end up getting my equation, which will work out my BMR, which looks something like this. Here you go. It's 1,125 plus 838 minus 170. This totals at 1,793, which will be an important number to follow through. The next step from here is to get your calculation for physical activity. Physical activity is on a scale from 10% to 100%. 10% would be you survive. 100% would be you're running marathons and powerlifting every day. I put mine at about 0.70 because I do strength and power training in the mornings for generally around 2 hours of moderate to high intensity. And then generally in the evenings, I like to do some low to moderate intensity cardio. With that logic, twice a day, moderate to high, low to moderate, I put myself at around 0.70. Okay, so what the calculation actually looks like here is it's my BMR, which is 1793, times my level of physical activity on a daily basis, which is 0.70, which equals a total caloric intake of 1255. What that number means is that's how many calories I would need to sustain my rhythmic workout pattern. This is the only number in the equation that is generally subject to your opinion. So make sure it's valid, make sure you're honest. If you just walk, calculate 0.20. If you run marathons, calculate 0.80. It's that simple. And the third most important step is calculating your thermatic effect of food. What this number represents is it's always 0.10% of the amount of calories you have to intake from your BMR and your physical activity level to break down the food required for you to go through the day. Mine looks something like this: 1793 plus 1255 times 0.10. That gives me a thermatic effect of food rating at 305. I need 305 calories to break down food throughout the day. Now that we have our BMR, our TEF, and our physical activity level, we can finally break down the most important number and the one you've been waiting for: your total daily energy expenditure, which is your BMR plus your physical activity intake plus your TEF to give you your total amount of calories that you would need to sustain for the day. Mine would be 3,353 calories to sustain my current physical stature and physical ability. Now that number is never going to be 100%, you're going to hit it every day, but you can use it for future intake and monitoring. All right, so what have we learned? We learned how to calculate your total daily energy expenditure. What does that number mean? That is your baseline. That is your number to basically monitor and make sure you stay within your realm. If you can hit that number consistently, you can kind of have a pattern. There are many more things to learn. This is how to calculate your own calorie intake, essentially. These are what the experts do for you. With that being said, there's many more things I can teach, from basic breakdowns of your macronutrients, what those ranges should look like, to how to put yourself in a slight deficit or increase for weight loss or muscle gain. All of this stuff can be calculated with math. The reason I made this video in the first place is so many people ask me, what do I need to eat? It's not necessarily what specifically you need to eat, it's how you're eating. I know that's like inception mind blown, but if you break it down on a monitored scale, use some science behind your logic, you will be able to maintain systematically and easily as long as you do your homework.